What's up, workhorse peeps? Just checking in.
Hello.
Yeah, we're just waiting a second.
Sorry, I was just sharing it.
It's okay. It's all good. So we're live here. We're gonna do a workhorse fitness / warrior mindset podcast. Heather and I, we've been working on a project. We've been. That's always weird. It's like, where the hell's the camera at? Been working on.
Is it that?
Yeah, it's that camera.
Okay.
Working on Way of the Seal. Book review going chapter by chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a whole series that's been coming out, and we just wrapped it up. And we want to do like a bonus piece, which is training.
Bonus section.
You know, how do you use these things that Mark Divine through the Way of the Seal shows us in your training, and then Seal Fit, because I know we're both Seal Fit freaks.
We are.
We want to talk about that a little bit.
I'm a fangirl.
Yeah, me too. Wait, what?
Whatever you want to be.
Yeah, so there you go. All right, so training in the Way of the Seal, right? So how do you use, or how have you used some of these principles? Because we've been reading this book for 8 years now.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of
you
nuts?
gifted
6
this
years?
to me. I don't know if you ever signed it, but
I'm not gonna sign your book, but that's weird.
well, I mean, like so I started doing Self-Fit
signed mine.
workouts, but I'm jealous. But before I even really knew what this meant,
Right.
it was a physical thing at first.
Right.
And I kind of like how he encapsulates everything back to training, which is kind of how he learned too, through the beatdown of the 300-hour quorum.
Yeah.
That's how he starts the book.
From the
right.
basic, what do they call it? Buds, SEAL training? Yeah,
right.
Jesus.
That's when he first
that's how
really
he put it all
became
together.
humbled and was like, shit, I don't know. I don't know everything when it comes to my mental toughness, and kind of how he started. So,
well, yeah, and I'm such a fan of his. He was also kind of a wizard to begin with, right? Before, because he had achieved a black belt. He had gotten 2 of them, in 2 different styles, and then he's like going through Navy SEAL training, and that's why he was, I think he was one of the first SEALs to come out and kind of do different shit, as opposed to more military shit. He opened like a brewery and did some other businessy things, and I think it was because he kind of had his mind put together before he went in there.
He also broke it down, the mystique of what it means to be a SEAL,
right?
And also, like, I think he did a great job of not hardening the view of what a SEAL is, because what he talks about first at the very beginning, and I just sent this to a dear friend of mine, but before we start at whether you come into workhorse fitness or whether you're starting a new business, there's no such thing as perfection. So what you see on Instagram, what you see is like this mirage of the people living their best lives on Instagram. That's not,
it ain't real.
It's not real.
It ain't real.
No body is perfect. Nobody is perfect.
Right.
And this is just a great way to follow these principles, help you just become the best person you could possibly be. And something I used in my campaign, something I know that we both use in our lives is 1% better every day. Like, even if it's one little thing, it's a shit of a day, but you do that one thing, you go for a walk, you go to the gym, and it may not be your best day, but you're doing something, which is more than what most people can say.
Yeah, and I use that hashtag. I know you use it a lot too. Kaizen.
Kaizen, yes.
And that, if you look it up, it's a Japanese term that they use in terms of production, like business production or whatever. Like, it's 1% incremental improvement. But he uses it, I use it. Apply it to your life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You have to approach your life in the same way.
Yeah.
I think if I got anything from him or this book or his way, is that it's the idea to know that your body and your mind and your soul, it's always in a state of breaking down. And it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to get older, you're going to deteriorate. Right? You're going to get older, your mind's going to not be as sharp. Yeah. You get more apathetic as you react negatively to politics or whatever, but it doesn't have to. And I think that's the whole point of this, is that if you train these things, it doesn't have to be like hardcore Navy SEAL training, like you said, just something. But if you train these things, you can fight against that atrophy. You can fight against that breakdown. that apathy, right? Just do one little thing. It's so important.
It is. And I think that once you get into that rhythm, like, and again, so cliche, but to think like this is our lifestyle. It is.
It is your lifestyle.
It is, but it's a it's a
How many people,
conscious choice you have to make.
Riddle me this. How many people have you seen leave workhorse that begin to deteriorate very soon after they quit? Because they don't just leave. It's not like we're not angry because you leave workhorse. We get upset as coaches because you stop doing anything.
Right. I'd be fine if you went to another gym.
I don't care.
Don't care, but
do
keep
something.
doing something.
Yeah,
right.
Or go run, like whatever. But
I would
how
say
many people?
90%.
I was gonna say 9 out of 10. Same way as saying 90%.
Boom.
Math.
Math is good. Yeah, and I think what can help through whether it's at-home workouts or changing one little thing, and we start by saying when you come to the gym, like, try not to change everything. Like that's too hard. Don't try to quit smoking, change your diet completely, work out 6 days a week, start doing meditation. Like, holy crap, like that's too. So one thing at a time. And what he talks about is, and I've heard this in marketing terms, I've heard this in campaign terms, a lot of different ways, but to crawl, walk, fly, and that's call it is like one little thing, and then you add one more thing. So,
man, I dig that.
It builds on top of each other.
So the last bit of this, and why I say it's a bonus, go get the book. There's probably a couple of them at the gym. You could take pictures of pages or borrow or steal or whatever.
There's a copy of the gym too.
Yeah.
If you come to the gym.
This is just the physical part.
I just threw that in there.
Sick burn.
Woo.
Yeah, so the last bit, he has this whole section on self-assessment, right? And this just the physical one. There's one on all the different, he has the 5 mountains or whatever, but just the physical part. And I think, ask yourself these questions, right? Do I follow through with my training regimen? So, do you do the things you say you're going to do? You say you're going to come in 4 days a week. Do you do it?
You got to finish that sentence though. Rather than just using the elliptical, a few weight machines, and running a few miles in the neighborhood.
Right.
That's like going to Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's where you start, but that's not going to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah, I think for me, that one, it's like, okay, I'm going to go do a functional fitness workout. I blow it off, and then instead I walk around my neighborhood. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, we have a lot of that. Like, I'm just gonna go for like a mile run. Like,
and it is good to do something, but it is not the same thing. And I think that's the point. Like, are you mentally capable of doing the thing you said you do, right? In terms of the physical part. Am I comfortable and stable in my body throughout the day and during physical activity? Think about that one.
I sometimes get, if I've overtrained or haven't done mobility enough, if I'm sitting instead of standing working, I'll be like, oh, my knees hurt, my ankle hurts, my hips hurt.
Other things we can do besides just working out.
Right.
Am I able to sit for long periods without physical discomfort?
Oh, that's what I meant to say that.
That's
so then I'm like, my back hurts.
Yeah, right.
And stretch more.
Do I meet my doctor's criteria for good health at my age? That's interesting. Do you even go to the doctor?
I'm guilty.
I was guilty of that for a long time.
I don't.
I do go once a year.
I go when I drop washing machines on myself. Like extreme situations.
This is the big one. Am I conscious of what I eat and drink throughout the day rather than grabbing whatever is immediately handy or what satisfies my craving?
Yeah.
Oof. Am I generally free of injury, illness, and general malaise, able to meet my commitments and attend work and social activities without problem? And that, man, that's not just physical. I mean, go through it, man. There's mental, spiritual, all this stuff. Like, can you do what you said you'd do? And I know every time we do something, we always come back to that, but it is just so important. You don't realize that all the little things
add up to the greater.
Yeah, the little decisions, the little things you tell yourself, the little things you don't do that you said you do, the little ones. It's additive, It's not just the big one. It's not like forgetting your kid at school. Oh shit, I gotta go back and pick him up. It's all the little ones of like, well, I'll just eat that one cookie. I'll just do. And I'm not saying it's bad to have a cookie. I'm saying, like, if you said I'm not going to do it and then you do it, well, then you just broke down. You know what I mean? And that's going to add up.
A lot of times that it snowballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when we see people like, oh, I'm going to take a month off, and then they never come
a
back.
month off. Yeah.
You're
it's a death
done.
sentence.
You're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they say the human nature, it takes 66 days to formulate a habit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the same way. It's actually half going the opposite way. So it takes you half the amount of time to lose a habit.
Wow. I would think it'd be faster than that.
It probably is faster
yeah.
than that. I was always thinking, like in college, like it takes you, way less time to get out of shape than it does to get in shape.
Right.
And that sucks. Like you make so much progress, and I think again, just do something.
Mm-hmm.
Come and just do what you can.
Mm-hmm.
We have different levels at the gym. Just do what you can physically do.
Right.
You know your body better than anybody. We're not going to hate on you.
We'll help you. All right. So Seal Fit.
Yes.
Seal Fit. What is Seal Fit? What the hell is it?
I mean, it's workouts designed based off of Navy SEAL training.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think.
Well,
I should know that since we just.
That's fine. So specifically, the workouts are designed to test. I think the general bar is 3 of the 5 mountains at one time.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
so
that.
that's the goal. Like when you're
Very
you're going in to do one,
Yeah.
we want to test 3 of the 5. So there's lots of different aspects, physical, mental, spiritual awareness,
Mhm.
and then the overall warrior spirit, bringing those
Okay.
things together. So it's really super easy to test the physical aspect.
Yeah.
We just just run 10 miles. But the thing is, running for 10 miles also has a mental and a spiritual aspect to it, right? Because
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but after mile 3, I'm ready to go home. Right? So what is it that you do that makes you not go home? What do you draw on? What? And so for me, that's why I like that realm of training so much, because it helps me continuously lift that bar of what I'm capable of, not just physically, because whatever, like I personally don't care. You deadlift 400 pounds if you can deadlift 408. Like it really doesn't fucking matter to me in the end. Because I'm not competing. I'm not trying to beat a guy who can lift 405.
Right.
It's just the idea of tapping into that thing that makes me not quit.
For sure.
And I think you have to train it.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was kind of raised that way, so it's been in me, growing up with 3 brothers, and just like playing hard all the time, like going hard all the time.
Right.
But I think it can be trained. I mean, you're a perfect example of that.
Well, gee, thanks.
You are like you trained yourself to be unstoppable.
Yeah, I was very soft. Like when I first, I was just talking to somebody. The business that I have started, this oldest, is 17 years, which is kind of fucking nuts.
That's crazy.
It's time to do something different. But like, not really. I enjoy it. But like, when I first started that business, I was very soft, like mentally, especially physically. I was over 300 pounds, like just staying up until 2 a.m, writing code, eating donuts, like stupid shit. But more so than that, I think often the physical, like the way you are physically, is really a output of how you are mentally.
Yeah.
And I was not where I needed to be mentally.
Yeah.
It was just like I was a slave to that world. I was a slave to those clients. I was a slave to those employees, whatever. And that was what I put first. And I had to realize that that's not the thing that I should put first.
Yeah.
I have to, it's like when they tell you, like when the things come down the airplane, you put it on your face first, then you put it on your kids or whatever. I don't know if I would ever do that, but you really have to take care of yourself first. So that you can be there for the other people, because you're not really there.
It's true.
You may think you are, but you're not.
Yeah.
Thanks for the compliment.
Well, okay, I will say I will throw myself on the bus too a little bit. So that reminds me of going into college. My first year, I was like maybe 135 pounds, wet, super skinny, tiny, not powerful. I remember passing out during training camp the first.
Really?
Oh, totally.
Oh man.
I blacked out.
Oof.
Of course, in Pennsylvania we had, and this is like back early 2000s, so there's no AC in any of the buildings. So it was like you just
sounds familiar.
Exactly. It's like daily training, in
Right.
the summertime here.
Right.
It's not quite as hot, but I was weak. Chuck, who came,
Okay.
Coach Chuck.
I remember Chuck.
He's like, "Do you want to do this? Because you kind of seem like you don't want to
seem like
do
you want to
this."
be here.
And he kind of was like, "I don't want you to be here if you don't want to be here." And I
That's
was
funny.
like, "Fuck you, I'm doing this." So I trained my ass off, and that's
Right.
what I talked about in the different podcasts, but like have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. But I just remember back to that conversation, be like, "No, I do want to be here."
Right.
He's like, "You have to earn a spot."
That's
So
a different mindset. Yes.
I went back that summer and trained like an animal. Was running like 5 miles, like
Oof.
doing Taibo. I started doing Taibo.
Yeah, Billy Blanks.
Billy Blank. I
Yeah.
love Billy Blanks.
Yeah, I do too.
Started lifting weights, came back, and they were like, "Who is this like machine?" Like I had trained myself that summer, and
Nice.
the rest was history.
That's awesome.
Kind of after that, it
Yeah.
was just a different, going from a little podunk high school to collegiate, a big D2 school.
Mm-hmm.
I was not prepared for that.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well,
So-
I mean, I don't know how you could be. It's a big step.
Well, a lot of the girls were.
Oh, okay.
So I was not.
Had to play some
But they were
catch-up.
seen. They had been there for 4 years, so
Right.
they had the experience.
Well, see, that's what, like, we talk about this, like,
Mhm.
that's what going through
Mhm.
Navy SEAL training,
Mhm.
like, that's what getting that black belt. You got your black belt in collegiate sports, right? You did. Because you hung out, you did it.
I did
they
it.
paid for your school to go. Like,
Right.
you got your black belt in sports because you went through the crucible of
Yep.
having to do it,
Yeah.
right? And I think devoid of that, which
Mhm.
most people are, and I would say I have been for most of my life devoid of that challenge,
Yeah.
unless I put myself in that challenge, right? And I think you
Mhm.
have to put yourself in those challenges
Mhm.
constantly.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, a 4-year program or a, week-long death camp.
But you worked for 8 years to get your black belt.
Yep. Yeah. But
I mean,
that's what I got out of
Right,
it was
exactly.
learning what I'm made of and not quitting,
Right.
right? And doing the things that I committed to doing.
Mhm.
I mean, you have to put
Mhm.
yourself in those scenarios.
I love having big goals like that
Mhm.
because I get bored. So if
Mhm.
you're a workhorse person or not a workhorse person, set a goal for yourself, and it should be a little scary. It should be outside your comfort zone.
Right.
And that's kind of how I have, whether it's, running a campaign or doing bodybuilding or running a marathon, or I like picking crazy shit and just going
Mhm.
for it. And
Mhm.
it may not be perfect, but I'm going to freaking finish
It
it.
doesn't have to be perfect.
And because I like doing what most others can't, because
Right.
I just like push myself to the extreme.
Do today what others won't, so tomorrow you can do
Do
what
what others
can.
cannot.
That's
Yes.
solid, right? That's solid.
Absolutely.
You have to do that. All right, so that's really it. We've got on the warriormindset.us, you can, as they come out, I think it's about halfway out,
Mhm.
you can go back and listen to the whole book. If you don't want to read the book, I recommend reading it. You can get it on audiobook. I know we've got some people listening to an audiobook, which is fine because Mark Devine
I'll tell you what, though, it's
does
nice.
it himself.
It's nice to have it to like make notes.
Yeah,
because
I've got.
It's so good to go back and like,
Yeah.
if you need to just like refresh
I've got
and
my highlighted. Yeah. Scribbled all in there like a psycho.
yeah, it's fun.
But yeah, it's a great book. So
Mhm.
check out the series, check out the book, ask us questions.
This has been fun.
Join us
Gene.
for a SEAL Fit. It's
We
been
need to pick
awesome.
another book
We will. Maybe pick a different like
genre.
thing, not another Navy
Yeah.
SEAL, because that'd be the next book. Will be another dude like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm a crazy fanboy, but we can find something.
Same.
Yeah. Awesome. I've enjoyed it.
Me too.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.